Let's talk about a company that has investors totally split right down the middle, Rocket Lab. It's one of the big names in the new space race, but the question is this a truly groundbreaking company about to take off? Or is it just a hyped up stock that's about to fall back to earth? We're going to dig in. So let's set the scene. As of January 6, 2026, a share of Rocket Lab will cost you $79.42. And wow, this stock has been on an absolute tear, making it one of the hottest space stocks out there. And what's really crucial here is that this price, it's just a stone's throw away from its highest point in the entire last year. And, whenever a stock gets this hot, it always forces us to ask a really big question. Is this incredible run-up really justified by what the company is doing and where it's headed? Or are we looking at a classic case of investor excitement just getting way, way ahead of the actual reality? That's the paradox we're going to unpack right now. So to get to the bottom of it, we're going to look at why people are so optimistic. That's the bull case. Then we'll hit the brakes for a reality check with the bear case. We'll dive into the wild debate over its valuation, and finally, what you should be watching for next. All right, let's start with the bulls. Why are so many people convinced Rocket Lab is basically headed for the moon? Well, a huge piece of that puzzle comes down to one massive, game-changing number. $816 million. That is a monster number. In late 2025, Rocket Lab scored its biggest contract ever. We're talking about a deal with the U.S. Space Development Agency to design, build, and actually operate 18 missile tracking satellites. This isn't just a big deal. For a company like this, it's a company-defining win. And you can hear it right from the top. The company's founder and CEO, Peter Beck, he didn't just talk about the money. He framed it as an honor. So this contract, it's not just about the cash. It's about getting a massive vote of confidence at the highest levels of national security. So here's the bottom line for the bulls. Rocket Lab is making a huge pivot. They're going from being just a company that launches small rockets to a full-on end-to-end defense and space systems supplier. That massive contract gives them guaranteed revenue for years to come, which, investors absolutely love to see. And then you throw in the development of their bigger Neutron rocket, which analysts are calling a material catalyst, and suddenly you've got a really, really powerful story for growth. Okay, but for every bull, there's a bear. And the arguments against Rocket Lab, well, they're just as serious. Because while the company is landing these incredible contracts, there are some signals coming from inside the company that are raising some pretty big red flags. And the timing on this is, well, it's something else. Just as the stock is soaring to new heights, a filing pops up showing that the company's own chief financial officer is planning to sell shares worth over $100 million. That is a huge amount of money, and it makes you wonder, if the future is so amazing, why is a top executive looking to cash out so much? Now, to be fair, this filing, it's called a Form 144. It's just a notice. It's a heads up that a sale might happen. It doesn't mean it has happened, but it's a public signal of intent, and it's exactly the kind of thing that makes investors pay very, very close attention, especially when we're talking about numbers this big. And beyond that insider sale, the bear case is built on some pretty cold, hard facts. Rocket Lab isn't profitable yet. Nope. In fact, it's currently losing over $230 million. Building that new Neutron rocket is an incredibly complex job, and there's a ton of risk that things could go wrong. The company is burning through cash. And hey, remember that bullish analyst from Cantor Fitzgerald's? Well, right now, the stock is actually trading above their $72 price target. Kind of awkward, right? And this all brings us to the real heart of the issue. When you have such powerful, compelling arguments on both sides of the coin, how in the world are you supposed to figure out what Rocket Lab is actually worth? Well, the simple answer seems to be nobody can agree. I mean, just look at this table. It tells the whole story. The market says the stock is worth about $79. An analyst says 72. Another valuation model puts it closer to 68. But then, look at that last row. The investment community's estimates are all over the place, from as low as $10 a share all the way up to almost 98. Let that sink in for a second. That is a nearly 10-fold difference in what different people think this company is fundamentally worth. You can't get a clearer picture of extreme uncertainty than that. This is the definition of a battleground stock. So, with the bulls and bears pretty much locked in a stalemate, the company's future, its stock price, it's all going to come down to one thing: execution. So here are the key milestones that everybody is going to be watching very closely. All right, first up, this quarter, we're expecting the brand new Neutron rocket to actually arrive at its launch site. That's a massive, tangible step forward. Then, around February 26th, we'll get the next earnings report. That's going to give us a fresh look at their finances, their cash burn, all of it. And of course, over the next few years, the market is going to be watching every single move they make to deliver on that huge $816 million defense contract. These are the moments that are going to tell the tale. So the ultimate question is still hanging in the air. Is Rocket Lab going to deliver on its incredible promise and shoot for the stars? Or are the financial realities and the risks just too great, destined to bring this high-flying stock crashing back down to earth? We're all waiting to find out.